YouTube, once again, we're on this Nissan, this Cummins 5-liter turbo diesel, and we're going to put a Scorcher HD on it to get some more power. Here's the part number for the AFE Scorcher HD. This is pretty much all that comes in the kit. You have the Scorcher with the plug-and-play connectors, and you have the mode switch button. Locate and disconnect the map sensor. After you disconnect the factory plug, you'll have one plug from the Scorcher that you plug into the sensor again, and then you take the Scorcher and you plug it to the factory cable. The fuel pressure sensor, which we also have to disconnect, is on the passenger side behind all this stuff. Now, the instructions say to disconnect and loosen this nut so you can get the fuel lines out of your way for easier access. So I'm going to try it both ways. Well, that fuel sensor was a pain to get to. So anyways, I use these curved pliers, and these are pretty long ones, and I hit the tab with this, and then I spread it up. I stuck it into the edge, and then I spread it apart with this to get it to disconnect from the fuel rail. Now here's the fun part. You have to plug these into the sensor and into the factory wiring harness. Getting that sensor plugged in was horrible. I ended up getting it with two little picks because you can get it in there just fine, but then getting it angled to slide into the slot, that's the hard part. Because you don't really have a lot of room to get your fingers to maneuver the plastic piece. So nothing AFE did wrong, but yeah, it sucks nonetheless. Tuck all the wires back in where they were and put that bracket back on that holds the fuel lines. Run the new wire with the old wire loom here, with the factory wire loom. Zip tie it with the provided zip ties, and just clean it up the way you like it. Now we're going to run the wire for the button through the firewall. So there's a grommet right here to the right of the brake booster, and we should be coming through that, but we're going to send it through from the inside. This rubber grommet in the center of the screen is where we're going to run the wire through. I got the button for the modes mounted right here on the flat part of this rail. After you run it through the firewall, you're going to take the wire from the unit and you're going to plug it in and then tuck it away. So the cables weren't long enough for me to mount the Scorcher module on the actual airbox. So take some alcohol, wipe down the top of the brake master cylinder reservoir, and you're going to just put the fuzzy side of the Velcro on there and then just stick it on there.
Alright YouTube, time for some disappointing news. AFE says the green mode is a pass-through, so it should be just like factory settings. That's just an outright lie. Green actually is a detune. So yellow, the second mode, is actually a pass-through and gives you your stock power. And I think they do this so that they can claim more horsepower on the max setting than what they actually give you with the max setting. Now, that being said, we saw 300 horse and 460 torque on a stock run with no mods, no intake, no exhaust, no nothing. Then we go run it on the green mode. We made 290 and 438. Now that's almost 30 torque loss, and that's 10 horsepower loss. That is not, some kind of misstep. That is legitimate power loss. We jumped to a yellow mode. We made 300 horse. Okay, that's about the same, within a variance. And 470 torque. That's within a variance. No big deal. So that is the true pass-through. And then orange adds power, went up to 315 horse and 500 torque, or 493 torque. All right, that's good. And then the full red, which is their race mode, whatever you want to call it, air quotes, 330 horse and 505 torque. So it does give you power. This is not, I'm not denying any of it. My buddy's happy with the power he's getting now. The gas mileage barely changed at all. One note is this will totally screw with your miles to empty calculation because it's tricking the computer. So, you're not going to be able to pay attention to that if you're not in the green mode. But the gas mileage when you calculate it with a calculator at the gas pump is perfectly fine. And it's not any noticeably different than before.